Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today we will understanding the Procure-to-Pay process in SAP S/4HANA. So I'm showing you. So introduction for today's session is in the presentation we will explore the Procure-to-Pay process in SAP S/4HANA, focusing on its definition, key integration aspects, and its significance in finance operations. So overview of P2P process overview. So definition of the P2P cycle is the procure to pay P2P cycle, also known as purchase to pay, encompasses the complete process of acquiring goods or services and making payments to suppliers. So we can understand purchase to pay from the purchase to pay process. Whatever the process is including encompasses the complete process of acquiring goods, means purchasing the goods or services, until the making payments to the suppliers or vendors. This cycle ensures a seamless flow from requisition to payment. Okay, so it's a part of the integration of and FI module. So the P2P process involves close collaboration between the materials management and the financial accounting modules. Such integration enables accurate tracking of expenses and enhances overall financial management. Okay, importance of P2P in finance. The procure to pay P2P process is crucial for finance as it streamlines purchasing, ensures compliances, and enhances cash flow management. Efficient P2P practices lead to improved vendor relation and optimized procurement strategies, which contribute to overall organizational success. Key P2P steps from purchase order creation. The first step of the P2P process involves creating a purchase order P2P to formally request goods or service from a vendor. These steps can be executed using various transactions and applications, such as when we are creating a PO, we are creating with the T code ME21N in SAP, which facilitates the management of purchase orders. Goods and invoice received. After the goods are delivered, a good receipt is recorded, confirming the inventory is available. Following this, an invoice receipt is executed the reflect the vendor's invoice in the system, ensuring that payment can be processed systematically. So we have a one process for the goods and invoice receipt, which is temporary process. When we received our goods but not in we don't received any invoice, that time we are using that goods and invoice receipt object. Okay. Payment processing and T codes. The final step in the P2P process involves processing payment to the vendor. This is carried out using transactions such as F110 for automatic payment or manager payments. It is essential for maintaining vendor relation and ensuring timely settlement of accounts. Conclusions. In the summary, the P2P process in I'm so sorry. P2P process in SAP S/4HANA is integral to finance efficiency. Understanding each step enhances the ability of finance professionals to manage procurement effectively, leading to improved financial performance and vendor partnership. Okay. Now we go with our next slide. You can say the slide for the procure to pay. I will explain you all the things. So first we understand procure-to-pay process, which we had seen in the PPT. So we will clear with this word file. Okay, procure-to-pay process in SAP S/4HANA, overview of it. Overview of P2P in SAP S/4HANA is the P2P cycle is the process of acquiring goods or services from external vendors. So we need to understand why we are doing that P2P process. So here we are purchasing, we are acquiring the goods and services from the external vendor, receiving them, verifying them, and processing vendor payments. Okay, it integrates material management, and financial accounting modules. Simple. You need to understand it is a part of FIMM integration. So key steps in the P2P process, we will understand with these steps, process steps, SAPT codes, and finance involvement. So first, we are doing with the purchase requisition, which is optional. If we are not doing the purchase requisition, we can directly go with the purchase order creation. So with the purchase requisition, if we go with the purchase requisition, we have a T code is ME51N, or we go with the Fiori. There is no finance involvement in the purchase requisition. Purchase order creation we are doing with the ME21N. Manages purchase order. There is no finance involvement in it. Good receipt MIGO. Post good receipt. No direct FI entry, but yes, there is a accounting entry is there, but it is not direct involvement. Okay. Invoice received MIRO, the T code is, and we are creating the supplier invoice. Here we have a FI document posted. Here we are doing the FI document posted. Payment to vendor F110, which is automatic payment program. APP manages automatic payment program. App is the manage automatic payments. It is in Fiori app. App is manage automatic payments, FI outgoing payment. Okay. So third option is integration point in P2P. So now we go with the integration point in P2P. FI integration, GRIR clearing account, FI vendor account, posting tax, TDS, withholding tax, etc. Bank integration, automatic payment program, and on outgoing bank files. These kind of things which we need for the integration. Okay. Typical FI entries in P2P. What kind of entries we will post here? At good receipt, no vendor entry created. Okay, for the first option when we are doing the MIGO. So our transaction is debit inventory account, which we are creating in balance sheet. So it is mentioned as BS. Okay. Okay. Credit is GRIR clearing account, which we are creating in balance sheet account. Okay. At invoice receipt IR, GRIR clearing account we are creating in balance sheet account. And debit is also input tax debit, which we are also created in balance sheet account. Vendor account, which also we are creating in balance sheet account. So all whatever we can see, all the accounts we are creating in balance sheet account. At vendor payment, vendor account debit to cash or bank account for the payment, or we can say that vendor account debit to outgoing or issued bank account. Now we come with the next slides. So today I will explain you all the things in slides, so you can go through with the theoretically. If any interviewer asks you this kind of questions, you are able to answer. So if you go through with the whole PPTs which I am giving you the explanation, you definitely appear clear your interviews. Okay. I will only show you the small practical thing only. Okay, now we go with the another option, which is interview question answers, which is related to P2P process. You can prepare it with it. What is the procure-to-pay process in SAP? If interviewer asks you about the procure-to-pay process in, so you just simply give you the answer related to it. P2P is the process of procuring goods or services, and making payments to vendor. It starts with the purchase requisition and ends with the payment settlement. That's it. Okay. In that steps, now you have to clear your steps. What steps are included in P2P process? So it is start with the purchase requisition, then come with the PO, then GR, IR, clearing. Sorry. It's with the MIGO and then MIRO and then payment. So PR, PO, GR, IR, and the payment. What is the accounting entry at the end of the goods receipt in SAP S for HANA? Okay, so if interviewer asks you the questions, what a kind of accounting entry will be there for when we are doing the good receipt, the transaction is inventory account debit to GRIR clearing account. There is no involvement of your vendor accounting. No vendor accounting entry is posted at this stage. Okay. Now we go with the third question. What is GRIR clearing account? So it's a very important question. Everyone asks this kind of question. What is GRIR clearing account? So it is an intermediary uh, account used when goods are received, but the invoice has not been posted. It is cleared once the vendor invoice is received and we posted it. Okay, and that is the simple answer. I will give you the whole explanation about it, don't worry. How is invoice verification handled in SAP? Invoice verification is done using MIRO. Okay, when we are creating a MIRO transactions, invoice is verified. The system matches the PO, GR, and invoice to ensure accuracy three-way match. So three-way matches come with the PO, GR, and IR. This step posted accounting entries and update vendor balances. Okay, what are the common T codes used in P2P? So common T codes for the purchase order creation, ME21 and MIGO for the good receipt, MIRO we are using for the invoice receipt, F110 automatic payment program, or we can also use for the payment average 53 for the manual payment. Okay. Now come with the next question. What controls are available in SAP to prevent duplicate invoices? SAP checks the reference number, invoice date, a vendor code, and amount. It can be controlled via uh, configuration in OBYC and vendor master settings. In the vendor master settings, we can also do these kind of settings. We can make it check the reference number. Okay, so if we check it, we cannot create any duplicate reference number invoices. Okay, how is GST handled in the P2P cycle in India? GST is configured using tax procedure tax IN during invoice posting MIDO. Okay, input GST and automatic calculated based on tax codes. Okay, so we can understand that how GST is handled. So when we are doing the GST configuration with the tax procedure, so it is automatically posted when we are doing the MIRO. Okay, it is automatically calculated. We just mention our tax codes and system will automatically pick the transactions for that. Okay, what is the difference between a planned and unplanned delivery? Planned is entered in PO, part of standard PO value. Unplanned captured during MIRO, directly hits expenses or inventory based on configuration. Okay. How do you configure the automatic payment program? How we can configure that automatic payment program? Automatic payment program we can configure by the use of decode. No, we are doing the transaction for the automatic payment program by the F110, and we are doing the configuration of automatic payment program with the decode of FBZP. Assign company codes, payment method, bank details, maintain parameters, proposal run, and execute payment. Okay, this kind of things we are doing. What master data is involved in P2P? Okay, for the P2P process, what are those master data is involved? Vendor master for FIMM views, master material masters, which is related to MM, purchase info record, purchasing info record, tax codes, GL accounts, inventory GL, GRIR, or vendor reconciliation, this kind of things, this kind of master data we are using in P2P process. Okay, these are all the things. What is the reference relevance of a reconciliation account in P2P? So it links the vendor sub ledgers to the journal ledger. It ensures that individual vendor balances are reflected in the consolidated GL. Okay, so we can understand what is the relevance of a reconciliation account is in SAP. So vendor reconciliation is we are using in the P2P process. Okay, what if the GR quantity is more than the invoice quantity? If the tolerance is breached, the system blocks the invoices. Whatever we are creating, any tolerances related to that. So if the tolerance breached, system automatically block for creation of the invoices. Configurable via tolerance keys like PEP, price, DQ, quantity, etc. What are the integration points between FI and MM in P2P? So these are the integration points: GRIR account, inventory posting, tax accounts, vendor reconciliation account. These are the integration points. How does SAP S4HANA simplifies the P2P process? SAP S4HANA, okay, we can say S4HANA removes redundant tables. So in the SAP S4HANA, we know that tables BSEC, BKPF, these tables are removed. There are so many tables are there which is removed, which is very specified with the is AC.A. Provides Fiori apps for real-time analytics and embeds machine learning for invoice matching and fraud detection. What are blocking reasons during invoice verification? Okay, invoice verification. What can be the reason for the invoice verification? It can be your quantity different variances, price variances, means the difference between your quantity, difference between your price, missing GR, duplicate invoice creation, mismatch in PO, GRIR. These kind of things are there for blocking the invoice verification. What is the use of Fiori in P2P process? Fiori app like manage purchase order, post good receipt, and manage supply invoices allow users to perform tasks easily with better UI and analytics. Okay, in the P2P process, we have the applications for the P2P process. These applications like manage purchase orders, post good receipts, and manage supplier invoices. So remind this. What configuration is required in OBYC for P2P? OBYC configure automatic account determination for WRX for the GRIR clearing account, BSX inventory posting, FRE freight, PRD price difference. Okay, These are all the options are in OBYC. We have a numbers of options are there also. If whatever we need, we required in a real time according to the clients, according to that we are doing the configuration in OBYC. Got it? So explain the role of payment terms in vendor master. Payment terms define due date, calculation, and cash discount. It controls the aging and payment behavior of vendor invoices. What is withholding tax TDS handled in P2P? Okay, TDS, how is withholding tax TDS handled in P2P? TDS is configured in one vendor master, means we are doing the assignment with our vendor master at MIRO or FDH43 or FDH02. SAP automatically calculates and posts TDS to the correct GL account. Okay. Now, what is blocked invoices? An invoice that does not pass the three-way match tolerance. I already told about the three-way match for the tolerance, that price quantity mismatch and blocked from the payment until released. Okay, three-way match is which is related to PO, GR, IR. We can say that PO with the MIGO, then the MIRO, that is the three-way match. Okay. Bonus, what we got in bonus: quick reference P2P configuration in SAP S for HANA Finance. Okay, configuration steps, description, OBYC. First, we are doing the configuration for the automatic account determination for FIMM integration. FVZP for the automatic payment program, we are configured for the payment. For the tolerance, we are using OMR6 for the tolerance limit for that the price variances. Price and quantity variances, we are using OMR6. OBY6 for the company code global settings, where we are doing the configuration for other things. FK01, XK01, which we are using BP for the vendor master creation. FTXP, which is defined tax codes. Now we come with the GRIR clearing account. What is it in SAP? What is GRIR in SAP? GRIR stands for Goods Receipt, Invoice Receipt. It is a clearing account used in SAP for temporary record the liability between goods receipt and invoice receipt. So we need to understand it's a liability between our goods receipt and the invoice receipt, especially in procure-to-pay P2P processes. Why is GRIR important? In accrued based accounting, we need to recognize expenses and liabilities at the time of good receipt. Okay, we need to recognize expenses and liabilities at the time of good receipt, even if the vendor invoice has not been received. Okay, for doing the good receipt transactions, we are using it. The GRIR account acts as a suspense account. So it's a temporary account. We can say it's a suspense account until both entries, goods and invoices, are recorded and matched. Okay. Financial perspectives, use case scenarios: a company purchases material goods are received, but the vendor invoice is received later. Standard journal entries at the time of good receipt, GR. Inventory or expenses account debit to GRI clearing account. Okay. Raw material. Raw material, if we are purchasing inventory with the 1000, GRIR clearing account with the 1000 at the time of invoice receipt, GRIR clearing account with the vendor account, GRIR clearing account 1000. With the vendor account 1000, what is the GRIR clearing process? At a month end or year end, GRIR account may have mismatched balances due to GR done but invoice not received. So that time it is required when we are doing the clearing in the month end activities or year end activities. We should have to check that whether our invoice are received or not. When we are doing the clearing, we can see all the status that these are all the GRs are there, but invoices are not received. So that kind of things we cannot able to create. Invoice received but GR not yet done. So these kind of things we cannot able to create. Clear. These are reviewed and cleared either automatically via F.13 transaction, which is automatic clearing. Manually, we are doing with the FB05 or MR11 adjustment. Month-end activities from a finance consultant point of view, during period and closing, you must analyze open GRIR balances, match GRIR documents, investigate discrepancies, post accruals or referrals if needed, ensures that the GRIR account is zero for closed POs. Transaction used for the transaction code description, MIGO form MB01 MIGO we are using for the creation of good received, then MIRO invoice receipt F.13 automatic clearing for GRIR MR11 write off for GRIR differences FBL3 and GRIR account line item display. These kind of things we can go with it. Report and audit. It is very important for the audit purpose. GRIR we are reconciled monthly. So GRIR must be reconciled monthly. Auditors often review this account as it indicates potential unrecorded liabilities or overstated inventory. Any aged balances in GRIR needed investigation and justification. Key points to remember: GRIR not a real liability, it's a temporary used invoices is received, must be reconciled regularly, avoid misstatements in financials. Automatic clearing is possible via F.13 if quantity value mismatched. If quantity or value matched. I'm sorry for that. Yeah, used only for three-way match. Three-way match we can see here POGR IR flows, not used in direct postings. Okay, so interview tip is: what happens if the invoice quantity is less than the good receipt quantity? So that is the very main questions which we had seen. Balance remains in the GRIR account. Finance must investigate, may need to write off or accrue the difference using AR11 or adjustment via FI postings. So we create that GRIR account. How we can create it? So now we go with the FS00 for creating it. So I'm going through with I'm creating. I already we had not created any account, so go with it. Go with the creation. I'm creating the GRIR clearing account, which is a part of our liability. So liability, it is started with the 2000 account, and I'm creating it in XYZ company code. Okay, the type of that balance sheet account and the type of is in liabilities, and it is GRIR clearing account. Go to controls. Just simply I'm giving here the sort key 001 and the create bank interest. We can see there are so many options for the field status groups. The GRIR invoices received clearing account, we have a field status group. For specifically GRIR, we have a field status group is G045, and then save it. So we create one account. If we go with it, In the liability field, we created one GRIR clearing account. That is simple way to create a GRIR clearing account. Okay. Hope you like my video. Please like, share, and subscribe my video. Thanks for watching my video. For more such kind of videos, please subscribe it. Thanks. Bye.